Grace and peace, and welcome back to Reflections of Womanhood. Today we continue our journey with another daddy girl. When I first started dating, young teens usually met at places like the roller skating ring, the handball court, or the neighborhood house parties. If a young man was interested, he would ask for my phone number, come meet my mother, and we would sit in the living room watching television. During that visit, I always checked 3 things. First, was he polite to my mother? Second, were his fingernails clean? And third, was he wearing sneakers? Think that sounds old-fashioned? Let's look at a situation that was truly old-fashioned. There are actually 3 women named Tamar in the Bible. Today, we will meet the Tamar connected to Judah. Judah lived in Canaan and married a Canaanite woman. Together, they had 3 sons, Onan, and Shelah. In keeping with the customs of that time, Judah arranged a marriage between his oldest son, and a young woman named Tamar. The purpose of the marriage was not simply romance. It was alliance and the continuation of family lineage. However, died before Tamar had any children. According to the ancient marriage custom, Tamar was then given to the second son, Onan. The purpose was for Onan to father a child who would legally carry the name and inheritance of his deceased brother. But Onan also died, leaving Tamar still without a child. Judah then promised Tamar that when his youngest son, Shelah, became older, she would marry him and finally produce an heir for the family. However, Judah became fearful. 2 of his sons had already died while married to Tamar, and he began to suspect that giving her to his 3rd son might bring the same outcome. So, instead of fulfilling his promise, Judah sent Tamar back to live in her father's house as a widow. Years passed. Judah never kept his promise. Eventually, Judah's own wife died, and after a period of mourning, he traveled to the town of Timnah. When Tamar learned of his journey, she realized that Judah had no intention of honoring his word. So Tamar made a bold and controversial decision. She disguised herself as a prostitute and waited along the road. Judah did not recognize her and approached her. As a pledge for payment, he left his personal seal, his cord, and his staff. Later, Tamar conceived twin sons. When her pregnancy was discovered, Judah initially demanded punishment, but Tamar presented the seal, the cord, and the staff, the very items Judah had left with her. At that moment, Judah realized the truth. He acknowledged that Tamar had acted more righteously than he had because he had failed to keep his promise to her. From Tamar's courage came 2 sons, Perez and Zerah, and generations later, the lineage of Perez would lead to King David and ultimately to the lineage of Jesus. This story reminds us of something important. Sometimes the actions we judge most quickly have deeper circumstances behind them. As Proverbs 16:2 reminds us, all the ways of a man are pure in his own eyes, but the Lord weighs the spirits, the thoughts and intentions of the heart. Grace and peace.